Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K collector, and I'm back. It's the start of a new week, and I figured I'd share something a little bit different here. I do tend to collect for the same type of game. Usually I'm buying games that are falling into the same genre, and that's either going to be a shmup, a beat 'em up, a 2D side scroller or platformer, Metroidvania style game. Then I also like my 3D open world adventure games. I like 3D open world platform games. I do like some of those quirky games from time to time. And I'm even into, some of the AAAs. And so, but what I noticed is funny is that, as I'm looking at my collection, I can really tell that I really like the same types of games. And so I think what I'm going to start doing on Mondays is just start going through about 15 games that fall into the same, almost nearly the same genre, but just across a number of systems. And so I'm coming at you tonight with about 14 to 15 games across 9 different consoles that kind of have kind of like a similar feel here. Now, I did reach with some of these games, so bear with me. You'll have to reach with me on some of them, but I thought that this was interesting, and I thought it'd be something I share with you tonight. So let's go ahead and get it kicked off here with the first game. So we're going to start it off with Gigantic Army. And Gigantic Army is probably one of the more recent games that you'll probably know about. This is a Switch game. It's by Pixel Heart, and this is basically like a 2D side-scrolling, Mech Warrior kind of game where you're kind of like running and gunning and shooting. You have all different types of weapons, and you're just shooting your way through. And this is kind of like that 2D side-scrolling Mech Warrior shmup type game. And so this is like kind of like just to kind of get the precedent set, just so you can kind of see the type of avenue we're going down here tonight. So then the next game that we have here for the PS Vita is going to be Damascus Gear. Again, another one of those like Mech Warrior based games, action, running, gunning, shooting. This is 3D though. This isn't 2D. So you've got that. And that's Damascus Gear. Now there's 2 versions. That's Damascus Gear Tokyo, and then you have Damascus Gear Osaka, right? So again, just the counterpart to that 3D Mech Warrior game. You're fighting, you're shooting, you're blowing stuff up. You've got a bunch of weapons. Now this isn't as these basically these next 2 aren't as action packed, right? Or yeah, I guess we could say that these next 2 are not as action packed because these are RPGs here. So the next up we've got here is Xenogears. Now we all know Xenogears is an amazing classic RPG game, but when it finally gets time for you to get into the action, into the fighting, it is still a turn-based RPG. But they're actually fighting in their gears. So these are some really cool, almost mythical looking gears, or I guess mech warriors that are really huge. They're like the size of buildings. And it's just a really cool thing to look at, especially for when this came out back in the 90s. So yeah, Xenogears, definitely a great game to check out. Then we have another RPG here. This is Steambot Chronicles. This is an action RPG that you've got here. So you've got your Mech Warrior. This one always reminds me of the Adventures of Trombone, or Trombone, however you say it. But this is a cool Atlas game, Steambot Chronicles. They also have got this on the PlayStation 2. I haven't really ever dug too deep into this one. I've had this for a while, but this is a pretty cool game. I thought the concept was pretty cool. Then you have Armored Core, and then this is back to more solid action, just your straight shooting. This is more tactical kind of Mech Warrior game here, so I thought this was cool. This one also falls into that whole mech category, Mech Warrior, I guess, if you look at it that way. And then you've got good old Dynasty Warriors Gundam, right? So how can you talk about, Mech Warriors and mech anything mech related and not, consider Gundam. So we've got Gundam, the Dynasty Warriors version here. Really cool. Gundam Wing, and then just think about that with Dynasty Warriors. Hack and slash. If you follow the channel, that's right up my alley. Then you have Gundam versus Zeta Gundam. So this is one that I actually got over the summer. I saw it and I thought it was pretty cool. Haven't had a chance to dive too much into this one yet, but it does fall into that category. So we've got that Gundam there. Next up, we have a little mech fighter. Figured I'd add this one here. Tech Romancer. Anyone who's a fan of the Dreamcast, you know what this is about. This is basically like the 3D version of Cyberbots on the Sega Saturn, which I do have. I didn't include it in here, but yeah, that's basically what this is. Tech Romancer is a pretty cool game. Then we have some more side-scrolling action with this classic here, Wolf Fang on the Sega Saturn. Wolf Fang, this is tight. This game is sick. Just think Gigantic Army, but just the classic, it's games like this that Gigantic Army was born from. Wolf Fang is really cool. Check that out. Assault Suit Lanos 2. This is another one for the Sega Saturn. Side scrolling, run and gun, mech warrior shmup. Pretty cool here. All these games, you don't necessarily get to fly in these games, but you do get like a jetpack that you can boost, and then it eventually runs out, and you either need to recharge or get some gas or something like that. This is one that I recently talked about here. Good old Hyper Duel, right? So Hyper Duel is really a shmup, but in this game, you can transform from a spaceship into a mech warrior, which I think is pretty cool. And then you also get like power-ups, but then you also get like helpers, which can also be like miniature mech warriors, which is cool. They fire, heat-seeking rockets. So pretty cool game. Check it out. Hyper Duel. Good stuff. Okay, next up. You probably know about this one. Virtual On, right? On the Sega Saturn. This is one of my, and I'm kind of ruining a different series that I got going on, but I do have to talk about this. This is Virtual On for the Sega Saturn. Really cool game. They also have Virtual On for the Dreamcast, and this is kind of like, it plays like a lot of the Gundam action games, like arena style hack and slash kind of game. And then last but not least, I had to save the best for last. This one is a doozy. Matter of fact, I got it in the little case. Let me take it out. Okay, so last but not least, we have here, and I just spoke about this game the other day, we've got Battle Unit Zeoth. So this is an amazing Game Boy game. This is from like the original Game Boy, and you are a mech warrior flying through the sky. You get your power-ups, and basically like each power-up just kind of spreads your shot a little bit wider and a little bit wider. You've got about a few bosses to fight in here, but this is a very fun Game Boy game. And if you've never played this, I recommend, and you like, shmups or space shooters or anything mech style, I highly recommend you check this game out. Battle Unit Zeoth. And this is the game that I was talking about the other day when I was going over Hyper Duel. So yeah, that pretty much does it for my 15 mech warrior games. I thought this would be an interesting topic to talk about. But I guess when you go through your collection, you kind of start to realize, okay, I do buy a lot of the same type of game. And so if you find yourself in that position, let me know which games you get that kind of, it's the same type of game, but maybe just across a bunch of different consoles. I mean, we just went through about 8 to 9 different consoles. So, when you collect and you really have a genre that you like, it really shows in your collection. And when someone walks in your game room, they can kind of get a feel for the type of gamer you are based on what you got in there. So let me know what games you like to collect for down in the comments. And I do appreciate you stopping by on a Monday. I am the Y2K Collector. Hope you have a good one. Take it easy.